Hello and welcome to the Great Unexplained Debate. I'm Carl Beattie and I'm going to be your host for the next hour of scintillating conversation between myself and our panel. Now with me today I've got Dave Sadler. Thank you very much for coming in again. It's really nice to see you from the Unknown Phenomena Investigation Association. Next to you we have Steve Mera. Thank you very much for coming in.
Nice to be
part of one of the oldest associations on the whole planet ever that there's ever been.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe in this country.
The Manchester Association of Paranormal Investigating and Training. And obviously next door to me, as usual, Fred Batt, demonologist, witchcraft expert, paranormal investigator, and all-round nice guy. Thank you very much, guys, for coming. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for coming back, because you're becoming almost a permanent fixture here. I'm thinking of getting you a room upstairs, maybe.
Not together.
Oh, not together? Oh, that changes everything.
He doesn't snore, so that's okay.
How do you know?
Don't know.
That's another debate completely. What we'd like to talk about tonight is cryptozoology, and I know you've got sort of an interest in cryptozoology. I want to go right across the board. We're talking about Bonneville Snowman, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, big cats, small cats. Even if we got some huge hedgehogs, that would be great to talk about as well. But sea monsters and the lot. Dave, what's your take on cryptozoology and all those wonderful beasts?
It's a fantastic subject. It's a subject that obviously people are aware of because of media again, especially the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot over in America and in the UK, and especially for me, it's the study of the big cats in this country, which in 3 years I've received about 168 reports of big cat sightings, and that's in South Cheshire and the Staffordshire Moorlands alone, and it's an area which I've looked at thoroughly, and I really enjoy. And actually think I saw something once, maybe twice, possibly, but definitely once I viewed something of consequence.
But what did you see?
We were doing a radio show at the time, and it was reported to us that a big cat had been seen on the Wirral. And we're not going to give any details of actual places away, because in some cases this could be a mad rush of people going down there trying to kill the big cat. But on this instance we were able to view from a plateau on the Wirral across a main road another plateau on the opposite side through a scope and through a camcorder. We were able to view a puma looking cat actually scurrying around in the field, and then when we went over and checked later on, and one person in one field and one person in another, we were able to suggest that it was something, not a tabby cat, it was something a bit bigger. On the second occasion I was walking down the lines near my house, an old railway line, and I thought I saw a rear area of the cat, the hindquarters of the cat going into bushes. Obviously that wasn't as good as the first one, but it's a fantastic subject, and people are witnessing things on a nigh on daily basis of something that's quite secretive.
Steve, what's your take on?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit different investigating cryptozoology, because when we're referring to big cats, it's not much paranormal. I believe that obviously I think pretty much came about due to the Big Cats Act, or I should say the Exotic Animals Register, and the act that they brought in 1976.
1974.
74, sorry.
Oh, happy you.
That they were released. I think a lot of people didn't want to get fined for having exotic animals and released into the open. And of course, cats are very, they're very good survival techniques, and they can breed. They find each other, and especially animals such as the puma, which can go on for forever, literally with only eating once a month or something like that. So they can live in all conditions of weather as well, which is interesting. Loch Ness, well, I visited Loch Ness a few times. The last time I visited Loch Ness was with some crazy Japanese from Nippon Television, which wanted me to drive all the way down there just to say that's where it is. Apparently, fantastic.
You should take to any old lake, it's there.
It's absolutely vast, but I tell you what I find interesting is the consistency of the type of things which are seen in deep water channels, such as the Loch Ness, also Lake Champlain, Lake Okobogo, You know, all these are pretty much exactly the same sort of things. They're places where the water is exceptionally deep, exceptionally old areas, probably created through Ice Age, and exactly the sort of same things which are reported. Who knows that we may have some type of animals? I mean, we're still finding things in the sea, aren't we? We're still bringing up things every now and again. We see them on the news. Oh, we thought that was extinct. There it is. Who knows? There could be something out there which we just haven't got a clue that really doesn't exist. The problem is that people don't often see dead whales, do they, for an example?
No, that's true.
You know, so how do we know they exist when people claim to see them? You know, so people often put the argument forward, well, surely one dead one would wash up on shore, but you know, it's like we say, we don't see many dead whales. You know.
Which recently happened in Montauk in America. An animal washed up on shore, and all the cryptozoologists jumped all over it. They weren't sure what it was. We believe it was a Tasmanian devil. We believe it was a Tasmanian devil that had some form of cancer and it ate part of its features away. Obviously, it spent time in the water. And hey, there's a research facility not far away either.
That's
so,
true. Yeah.
You know, these creatures obviously do exist, but people obviously like to jump on the woo.
But I think it's almost one of those points that when something like that is found, it's a lot easier to discredit it as a strange exotic beast rather than because a simple DNA test would tell you what that beast was.
But DNA testing takes a lot of money. Lloyd Pye, the Stockchild project, he's currently spending £16,000 on another DNA experiment on the skull. So that goes to show you just how much money it costs. So
if it's government related, I mean, £16,000 is, you know, if they all stopped having a cappuccino on a Friday afternoon, you've probably got a couple of million saved there. Fred, what's your take on cryptozoology?
Well, the puma seems to be quite a regular thing.
Is that just a puma?
There's a lot of pumas seen though, apparently pumas, I don't know if they are, black panthers or whatever.
That goes down to your thing about perhaps just people...
Yeah, there's one near me, I mean I live in Surrey and there's a couple of places there where they're regularly seen. So maybe the people that have bought exotic pets, they've got too big for them, they can't handle them, whatever, they just let them out in the wild. But the Loch Ness Monster, I'm still not sure about. A lot of it could be for publicity for the area. I think they're playing on something that somebody faked a long time ago.
Well, you've got to think, I mean, I have to admit, the big cat thing, I'm kind of, you know, on what you said earlier, that I think it's people that have had huge cats in the past, and then this act came along.
Yeah. What people don't actually know is, after drugs and prostitution, the next biggest crime in this country is that the import of exotic animals. Snakes, parrots, yeah, all sorts. And one of them's big cats. And if somebody doesn't know it, well, what do we do? I'll throw it out on the moors. And what you've also got to remember is some of the animals, there's a lot of domesticated cats that are actually going into the wild, looking after themselves, becoming quite feral and growing. They have to evolve themselves to look after themselves in the wild.
But this is what I think. You almost want to take the big cat thing out of the cryptozoology. But I know it's all part of the same thing. But you kind of go, it's almost self-explanatory what they are. Like you've said that you know there's big pumas around, and I think it's very possible that there are pumas hanging around.
I think it was the in thing during the 60s and 70s to have an exotic animal.
Yeah,
I actually remember a TV advert of a woman walking a tiger down a high street.
The one on YouTube is a good example in this year that happened. The explosion on YouTube of the lion. That was kept by someone in the King's Road in an antique shop.
Yeah, it was just...
and then they went back to see it years later in Africa and came bounding up to them. You know, that one, I can't remember its name now. But
there's actually a TV programme as well of that, not on...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But, you know, the big cat, in effect, it exists in the country. Nobody will come forward and actually say, yes, it's taking place. We've got ties with the animal liaison officers of police forces. We've got ties with British Big Cats Association up in Scotland, and Mark Fraser, who more or less does this as a job. The Centre for Fortean Zoology.
I've just got to stop you there because we've just got to go to a break. We've, again, running out of time. Please join us in a couple of minutes.